So I'm gonna work a little bit more on this pastel baby dress. Gonna work on the ruffly butt, the ruffle bottom. I hope everybody had a really great weekend. I also hope I'm using the same gauge crochet hook for these. I don't know, we'll see. If they start looking bigger, I gotta rethink it, huh? But I'm doing a double crochet through both loops, no back loop only or anything like that, in order to give it a little more length more quickly. No, I can't play right now, girl. Let's see. Yeah, they look about the same. This light really glares pretty bad on here. That's okay though. So for this yarn, I made a little blanket and a cap and this dress that I'm working on right now. So, like I was saying in the last video, I'll see once I get the length of the dress that I want, and once I get the little cap sleeves, cute little puffy cap sleeves done, I'll see how much yarn I have left. I might be able to do some cute little booties to match as well. I'll try and bring this a little closer here. This light glaring, I don't guess you can really see all too well. But it's not that big of a deal, right? This isn't a tutorial. This is just a little short video I decided to do so that we could kind of talk about current times, you guys. There's a lot going on in the world right now, huh? I don't know if anybody else is kind of withdrawn from society, if anybody else is kind of pulling back from some of their old ways of life, or maybe isolating themselves a little bit. I don't know if anybody else feels kind of like things have just gotten crazier and crazier ever since 2020. I mean, things were a little crazy before 2020 for me. My life has been kind of crazy ever since I started having kids, to tell you the truth. But I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Things can get kind of crazy when you got other people to worry about besides yourself. My dog's over there looking everywhere. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? I got a cobbler in the oven, you guys, and she's starting to space out looking, so maybe she's getting the good smell space out face going. I don't know if y'all can see her or not. Are you contemplating life over there? Is that what you're doing? Yeah. So I was saying in the last video that I wanted to do a little more work on that strawberry stitch that I've been working on. But it's basically like a finishing stitch. And I think, you know, obviously the red pop would be nicest looking against a white background. So I think I'm going to do some kind of white garment and then finish it in the strawberry stitch. But I think like a little white baby dress for the baby doll there would be a cute thing to do. And then I'll finish it with that strawberry stitch. I have this really cute red thread that I got around Christmas time. Not this last year, but the year before. And it has this kind of sparkle in it. So I think I'm going to use that to do the little strawberries. But I just think it's so cute, and it kind of reminds me of stuff from like my childhood, like just real simple clothing designs, some handmade type clothes. I mean, I don't remember from when I was a baby, but I've seen pictures of myself when I was a baby and some really cute little clothes. And there's this one picture of me that my grandma, she called it the strawberry shortcake outfit. I think she called it the strawberry shortcake outfit. I can't remember, but it was strawberry something. And it did have strawberries on it. And I was a little red thing. I was a little strawberry too. Speaking of strawberries, when I was a little girl, when I was a kid, they say that I was allergic to strawberries. That's what they told me. They told me I was allergic to strawberries. But that I grew out of that I grew out of a food allergy. I mean, I don't remember being allergic to strawberries, but has anybody else ever heard of that? Anybody ever heard of somebody growing out of a food allergy? There's also a couple of other funny things about me growing up. I've never broken a bone. I've never had any major illness. The only time... Oh, there's my cobbler. Anyway, what was I talking about? Breaking bones or something? Oh, being sick. Right. I can remember being violently ill when I was around 10 years old. I don't remember what made me sick, though. I remember them telling me, and by them I mean my mom. I remember my mom telling me that it was a stomach bug. I think that's what she said. It was a 24-hour stomach bug. So I don't know about all that, but anyway, I remember being so sick that I couldn't sit up without throwing up. And it was for like a day or two. I remember laying on the floor of like our living room, I think. I remember laying on the floor just trying to sit up enough to like put my head up, or like kind of prop my back up a little bit, and then I remember when I did start feeling better, I remember going over to my grandpa's place. He had a couple businesses. Went over to one of his places of business, and I remember they ordered a pizza, and I ate some pizza, and I think I felt better after that. But that was the first time I can remember actually being sick, or being sick of any, strength that I would remember it in childhood or anything like that. But other than that, I really can't think of any time I was ever really very ill when I was a kid. So the only time I ever had to go to the hospital or anything like that was when I had my kids. I went to the hospital for the kids, and then the last one I ended up having a C-section, but all the other ones were natural. In addition to not ever being really sick, I've also never broken a bone, like I said. But I always attributed that to, like, just not doing stupid junk when I was a kid. Like, my cousin and I, we did, like, climbing trees. I remember that. And I did do a lot of running around outside. I loved being outside. I still love being outside. But when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time outside. I was an 80s baby, y'all. We did not have cell phones, television, stuff like that. I mean, they were, well, not the cell phones, but the television was definitely, it's not like it wasn't invented or something. But we just didn't have one. So I didn't grow up in front of the television or anything like that. I grew up with myself to play with. I'm an only child. And I'm also the oldest of all my cousins. So, yeah, I remember spending a lot of time outside when I was a kid, a lot of time outside. I remember spending a lot of time running around with my cousin. I remember spending a lot of time running around by myself, just being out in the woods and stuff. And so it's kind of a wonder that I never broke a bone, because I don't know. I think it's pretty regular for people to break bones, right? But I've never broken a bone. And the other thing that's never happened to me is I've never been stung by a bee or a wasp or any stinging insect. Never been stung by a bee. And again, I always just chuck that up to, like, luck, not coming across one that I made angry to the point where it wanted to sting me or something. I don't know what I thought, but this one time when I was in my 20s, having still not been stung by a bee, I've still not been stung to this day, but this is the craziest thing that's ever happened as far as bee related with me, okay? I was outside barefoot and I was walking through the grass and I stepped on something and I felt it move. So I picked up my foot and I looked down and there was this little bee and it had curled itself up into a ball and it was just laying there, and I thought, oh no, I killed it. I stepped on it, I killed it. It didn't sting me. It just curled up into a ball, and I thought it was dead, because what kind of bee doesn't sting you when you step on it, right? So I was standing there staring at it for a second thinking, oh no, I killed it. I was sad for having killed it, y'all. I was sad to think that I had killed this bee, okay? And the bee unfurled itself. It kind of, I don't know, like shook itself off a little bit, and then I swear it looked at me, you guys, and then it flew away. I'm like, what? What kind of bee curls up into a ball and just lays there and waits for you to pick your foot back up and then shakes itself off and flies away? And it was like a little honeybee, you know? I have had plenty of bees come around and check me out. They get close to me, they get real close. When I was younger, I had a great fear of them. I was fearful of a lot of things when I was a kid. Bees were one of them. I don't know why I was so afraid of bees, considering I'd never been stung by one, but I can remember this incident where there was a bee inside the car this one time when my mom and I were driving, and I had this soda can that was like, in our car then, we had this, we didn't have any cup holders in the car, okay? Hey, cut that out. Stop chewing that chair up, girl. You stop that. Stop that. No. I swear, you guys, if I'm not paying attention to her directly, she starts destroying things. Hey, stop. Stop it. Cut it out. Yeah, you, cut it out. Don't do that. Anyway, we didn't have cup holders in the car. This was the 80s, okay? But we did have this plastic cup holder that slid down, and again, it was an 80s car, okay? So it had the manual, what do you call them? The window lever thing. Get off the table. Get off the table. Get off the table. Get off the table. Get down. We had the manual window things, you know, with the little handle that you had to wind like this, okay? Anyway, so the window was down, and the cup holder, it fits down inside this, it slides down in between the rubber and like the inside of the door and the rubber part and the outside of the door. The cup holder slides down in, okay? Any 80s or 90s babies out there will probably know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? But all you younger people, y'all are probably like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so this this bee flew in and was like, stop it, girl, stop that right now, cut it out, stop being bad. Be good. Knock it off. So this bee flew in and was like coming after my soda drink. It was one of them orange, I think it was like an orange Sunkist or something like that. And I was so deathly afraid of this bee, you guys. I was crying. I was terrified of this bee. And it was just in there trying to get a drink of soda because it was sweet, you know, because bees are trying to go after sweet stuff, right? And man, I was so afraid. I remember my mom was so exasperated with me. She was like, just pick the soda can up and toss it out the window. And I was like, no, it's going to sting me. And I was freaking out. That bee flew up in the car while we were driving. And then I think my mom ended up pulling the car over, coming around the other side and picking up the can and throwing it away herself because I was too afraid to do it. But anyway, that was one of the incidents of me being afraid of bees when I was a kid. And there was this other time when there was this big fat bumblebee that came up next to me when I was riding my bike one time. And this bee was so big, you guys. I could hear it coming from a long ways off. It was like, bzzz, like you could really hear it. It was so big. Its buzz was really, really loud. That thing was about as big as my toe, you guys. That thing was huge. But that bee just came up to me and was just like checking me out. I was really afraid of that thing too. But they just came up to me and checked me out, and I don't know, they never stung me or anything. So I've never been stung by a bee, but it never occurred to me that it was a strange thing to not have been stung by a bee until I stepped on that bee. When I stepped on that bee and all it did was curl up into a ball, wait for me to lift my foot back up, and then fly away, I thought to myself, shoot, maybe I was a bee charmer in a former life or something. I don't know. I think there's some people who give off pheromones that it's like not a scent that the bees will want to sting or something. I don't know. I think I read that somewhere before, but anyway, look, it's getting longer. It's getting cute, you guys. What do you think? Cute, huh? All right, that's enough of me babbling. I'll do another video when I get the dress finished, and then we'll try it on the baby again.